A story of how I just got out of paying a $1,500 bill, why you should never blindly trust a debt collection agency, and always request proof of a debt owed. Love the start. I got a call out of the blue a little over a month ago from a debt collection agency saying I owed almost $1,500 from an ambulance ride I took because of me being involved in a car accident over 2 years ago. While on the phone with the debt collector, I looked up debt collection laws, and after a couple of minutes of research, I decided to request a debt validation letter, which they are legally required to send to me within 5 days of initial contact. Amazing. That is true. Almost nobody realizes that that's a requirement, so OP's starting very strong. Long story short, never received it. Instead, they sent me a verification of balance letter, which immediately told me, holy, they don't have proof I owe the debt, which means I'm not legally required to pay this. Today, right before the 30-day cutoff, I receive another call from them attempting to collect the debt. I request to speak with a supervisor. After going back and forth with them for a few minutes about why they haven't sent me the debt validation letter, which they are required to do under the law, he transfers me to his supervisor. This is where it gets fun. I'm now going back and forth with him after a few minutes, and he puts me on hold. Roughly 3 minutes later, he comes back on and says, "Sir, after reviewing your file, it doesn't appear we have the documentation required pertaining to the original bill in order to send you the debt validation letter. However, I'm showing you have a balance owed here in your file of $1,410.54. Would you like to pay a portion of that now or set up a payment plan or ... Holy fuck. This dumbass just admitted that they don't have proof of me owing the debt, which means I'm not legally required to pay it. It's null and void. I tell him this. He gets flustered, and after some more back and forth, basically tells me, have a nice day, and hangs up the phone. I'm going to still send a letter requesting a copy of the debt validation letter via certified mail with a return receipt requested to cover my ass. And when they don't, because they aren't able to, it's a done deal. If they try to put it on my credit report, I'll just contact the credit agencies with proof of me asking for the debt validation letter and never receiving it, and then it will get removed from my credit report. Moral of the story: always ask for documentation. Don't let debt collectors scare you into paying a debt you may not be required to pay. Here's the bogus letter I received, and then they show an image of the letter. Edit. This seems to be a pretty common question, so I'm editing into the main body of my post. I'm being asked if I even actually rode in the ambulance, and if I did, why I shouldn't just pay it. I was involved in an auto accident because some girl ran a red light and T-boned me going 50 miles an hour, and I had to take 2 ambulance rides because of it. I contacted my attorney, and he sent me an itemized list of debtors paid after the settlement, which was finished 2 years ago. There were a couple ambulance companies listed on there, but the amounts did not match the $1,410 this debt collector was claiming. And without an account number or any sort of identifying information, I was unable to match it to either ambulance bills paid in the documentation I received from my attorney. Thus, me attempting to clarify this with the debt collector via the debt validation letter.